good morning, good afternoon. This is Tech for Senior, October 2nd, 2023, episode number 183. I'm doing this for 183 episodes. I'm Hewie Poplock, and I'll be your host today. Ron is here, but he's my co-host today. We switch positions the first Monday of each month to give Ron a little bit of break and a little bit of time to himself, but we still get him to do a video now and then as well. He's going to be doing one today, so one of the sessions. This is a 1-hour show about technology and a Q&A at the end. Today we're talking about security, talking about your car, is your car spying on you? Fun with photos, folders and albums. And then AUE, the automatic update ending on your Chromebook, and then the modems versus routers, and then music by Ray, presented by Ron, because Ray's still away on vacation. We're glad you're here. As I say, I'm Hewie Poplock. I'm in Bradenton, Florida, where it's nice and sunny, lacking rain, which we would like to have some. We've dodged the bullet on some storms this year, and but we're glad you're here. And I'd like to say hello to Ron. Ron, how are you doing today?
I'm doing just fine. I got a comment yesterday on one of the videos. I don't know if you remember, I did a video called about lacrosse on your Chromebook, and someone sent me and I was going to show it, but I'll just read it to you. They put a comment on the video, and he said, "You are really an inspiration for old age senior people. At this age, either people lost technical interest, stuff, or not interested at all. You are like a geeky student of 20s. So I'm going to make that up as a sign and put it above my computer. An inspiration. There you go. That made my whole week and all the work worthwhile, Huey.
Yeah, and Ron, in the pre-show, you did mention where you're from, but where are you from for those who are watching the video or who are online late?
Well, I am across the pond from Powell River. And where's Powell River? Well, we are on the west coast of Canada, and I live on a little island. Called Vancouver Island off the west coast of Canada.
Okay, and of course I'm in Florida, so we're about as far across the continent as we could be. But somewhere in the middle is Bob G. Hey, Bob.
Good morning. Somewhere in the middle in New Mexico. A cloudy day today. We expect some rain. Even though they said today was a no-burn day. I haven't figured out the reasoning for that yet. But I guess those in charge know best.
Okay, and Ray Baxter is on vacation, so he's not here today. But I see Bill James is here. Hi, Bill.
Hello, all. How are you?
What's
Beautiful
up with you
day
this
in
week?
Oklahoma City.
Well, we're glad you're here. And I don't think Chris has joined us yet. I know they're traveling, so she may not even make it today. But if Chris is here, say hello. But I don't believe she is. That's Chris Guld from Geeks on Tour. And let's see, we're in our 4th year. And we're plugging right along. And then also on Thursdays, we have our Tech for Senior Live, which is more of a discussion on the latest tech news. And we spend part of the hour talking about a particular topic that was newsworthy for the week. And then we go to our Facebook page and we go through all of the articles that we've posted during the week. Not all of them, we never get to all of them, but we get to a lot of them, and we do talk about the latest technology and what's going on in the technology world. And we go off on some tangents occasionally, but we do have a lot of fun doing it. You join us by visiting our YouTube channel or our Facebook channel. but you do have the ability to comment and ask questions from those services. We're not on Zoom. And like one of my good friends this week, and I guess a couple other people too, went to our Zoom meeting and didn't get in because we weren't there. So just remember that on Thursdays, it's YouTube or Facebook, and on Mondays, it's Zoom. And then also, of course, on Monday, we are on YouTube for the most of the first hour. And let's see what else we got coming up this week. I've got the Sarasota Technology User Group meeting on Wednesday evening, and Jim Cerny is going to be talking about some Windows tips and some things that he's found to help him work with Windows. And then Sunday, which is the second Sunday of the month, I have the Windows Special Interest Group, or WinSig, and that starts at 1 o'clock Eastern time. And if the doors open at 1, the meeting actually starts at 1:30. And we also have a newsletter that comes out every Tuesday and Saturday. Make sure you're subscribed to that. And don't forget, our website is www.techforsenior.com. And make sure you're signed up for our newsletter and read it. There's some great articles in it and lots of interesting information, as well as all the information about us and how you can find our various programs and videos. Today we've got a premiere video, and Ron, will you put that in the chat for everybody? And we're going to be covering my Ember coffee cup or mug. That'll be Ron's doing that. And then how to choose an ISP, and that's from me. And then reading mode in your Chrome browser from Bob G. These are previous presentations that we've done for Tech for Senior, that they're still good, and we want to remind you, in case you didn't see them, or remind you what we did a year ago. And so those will be on the premiere, which is on the half hour after the Tech for Senior Q&A. So it's not this half hour, it's going to be the next half hour. So with that note, I think we're ready to begin. So we'll ask Bob to go ahead with his security news.
Here is my security news roundup for the week ending September 29th, 2023. Apple rushes to patch 3 new zero-day flaws: iOS, macOS, Safari, and more vulnerable. Apple has released yet another round of security patches to address 3 actively exploited zero-day flaws impacting iOS, iPadOS, macOS, watchOS, and Safari, taking the total tally of zero-day bugs discovered in its software this year to 16. Credited with discovering and reporting the shortcomings are Bill Marzak of the Citizen Lab at the University of Toronto's Munk School and Maddie Stone of Google's Threat Analysis Group, indicating that they may have been abused as part of highly targeted spyware aimed at civil society members who are at heightened risk of cyber threats. This was followed by both Google and Mozilla shipping fixes to contain a security flaw that could result in arbitrary code execution when processing a specially crafted image. Read more at thehackernews.com. There's a new scam targeting Spectrum Internet. Recently, a cord cutter newsreader detailed a new scam possibly targeting Spectrum Internet customers. He was offered a promotion from a caller claiming to be with Spectrum. During an almost hour-long call, he was told he could save half of his cable internet bill for 3 years with no contract. But he had to pay $520 up front to cover the cost of the first 8 months. The fake Spectrum representative requested payment in the form of a Target gift card, and within 2 hours, he would get a $100 Spectrum gift card in addition to the lower bill. We have also been told that the scammers will also text customers with an offer like this, so be careful about text offers like this one. The easiest way to avoid this type of scam is to simply hang up the phone or put the email into the spam folder or discard the text. Read more at cordcutternews.com. Xenomorph Banking Trojan, a new variant targeting 35-plus U.S. financial institutions. The campaign, according to Dutch security firm Threat Fabric, leverages phishing web pages that are designed to entice victims into installing malicious Android apps that target a broader list of apps than its predecessors. Some of the other targeted prominent countries targeted comprise Spain, Canada, Italy, and Belgium. This new list adds dozens of new overlays for institutions from the United States, Portugal, and multiple crypto wallets. Following a trend that has been consistent among all banking malware families in the last year, the company said in an analysis published Monday. Read more at thehackernews.com. Update LibreOffice now to fix a security flaw. Today's blog post explains the Document Foundation is releasing LibreOffice 7.6.2 Community and LibreOffice 7.5.7 Community ahead of schedule to address a security issue known as CVE 2023-4863, which originates in a widely used code library known as libweb, created by Google more than a decade ago to render the then new WebP graphics format. All users of LibreOffice are encouraged to update their current version as soon as possible. You can download LibreOffice 7.6.2 and LibreOffice 7.5 from the official LibreOffice website. Just follow the link listed. Read more at howtogeek.com. New Zenrat malware targeting Windows users via fake password manager software. A new malware strain called Zenrat has emerged in the wild that's distributed via bogus installation packages of the Bitwarden password manager. The malware is specifically targeting Windows users and will redirect people using other hosts to a benign web page, enterprise security firm Proofpoint said in a technical report. The malware is a modular remote access Trojan with information stealing capabilities. The payload, Bitwarden Installer version 2023 7-1 EXE, downloaded from crazygames.com, is a Trojanized version of the standard Bitwarden installation package that contains a malicious .NET executable. Read more at thehackernews.com. Update Chrome now. Google releases patch for actively exploited zero-day vulnerability. Google on Wednesday rolled out fixes to address a new actively exploited zero-day in the Chrome browser. Tracked as CVE 2023-5217, the high-severity vulnerability has been described as a heap-based buffer overflow in the VP8 compression format in libvpx, a free software video codec library from Google and the Alliance for Open Media. Exploitation of such buffer overflow flaws can result in programs crashing or execution of arbitrary code, impacting its availability and integrity. The latest discovery brings to 5 the number of zero-day vulnerabilities in Google Chrome for which patches have been released this year. Read more at thehackernews.com. Microsoft's AI-powered Bing chat ads may lead users to malware distributing sites. Malicious ads served inside Microsoft's Bing artificial intelligence chatbot are being used to distribute malware when searching for popular tools. The findings come from Malwarebytes, which revealed that unsuspecting users can be tricked into visiting booby-trapped sites and installing malware directly from Bing chat conversations. Ads can be inserted into a Bing chat conversation in various ways. Jerome Segura, Director of Threat Intelligence at Malwarebytes, said, "One of those is when a user hovers over a link and an ad is displayed first before the organic result." Read more at thehackernews.com. This week's must-see on my YouTube channel: Rats, Rootkits, and Ransomware. Disturbing highlights from the latest Avast Threat Report indicate scammers aren't just stealing from your computer. They're working to take it over entirely. Please watch my video on this topic by following the link listed. Did you know? The most widely printed book in the world is the catalog from IKEA. The first Wimbledon tournament was held on July 9, 1877, at the All England Croquet and Lawn Tennis Club. Today, it is the only major tennis event still played on grass. Ants rest for 8 minutes in a 12-hour period, and Hydra is an aquatic creature that never dies. There is no such thing as a little freedom. Either you are all free or you are not free. Thanks to Walter Cronkite. And that's a wrap for this week's Cybersecurity News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye, and thanks for watching and listening.
Thanks, Bob. They just don't stop, do they?
No, they don't.
And
That in mind.
and to further worry you, I've got something here I'm going to show as soon as I bring it up.
I thought the most common book would be the Bible. I was surprised it was.
I was also surprised, but that's what it is. It's IKEA.
I'll be darned.
Your car is spying on you. The disturbing reality of automotive privacy in a modern era. I'm Hewie Poplock. When you get behind the wheel of your new car, you likely feel a sense of freedom and privacy. Your vehicle seems like your own personal space, where you can securely make calls, have conversations, and drive to destinations without being monitored. Unfortunately, that expectation of privacy is now completely outdated. Modern cars are actually sophisticated data harvesting machines, collecting incredible amounts of data information on anyone who drives or rides in them. At a recent in-depth study from Mozilla's Privacy Not Included project, examined privacy practices at all the major automobile brands. The findings are extremely unsettling for consumer privacy. Mozilla found that every single one of the 25 brands they tested failed to meet minimum privacy standards. Through a variety of methods, vehicles can now gather data on your race, weight, health conditions, and even your sexual activity. Brands like Nissan don't even try to hide this invasive data collection. Their privacy policy openly states they collect information on sexual activity, health diagnosis, genetics, and more. Nissan also claims the right to share or sell this data to third parties, including law enforcement. Other automakers aren't much better. Volkswagen uses your driving behaviors, like seatbelt usage and braking habits, to profile you by age and gender for targeted advertising. Kia's policy reserves the right to monitor your sex life. Mercedes-Benz has its own set of issues. They ship new vehicles with TikTok pre-installed, which poses a whole separate set of consumer privacy concerns. During Mozilla's study, Mercedes did not respond to any questions about their data practices or encryption policies. In fact, encryption is a major blind spot for the entire automotive industry. Mozilla found it's totally unclear whether any manufacturer actually encrypts the trove of data they collect on drivers and passengers. Other alarming practices are also commonplace. Subaru's policy states that simply being a passenger in one of their vehicles implies consent for broad data gathering. Toyota subjects consumers to a maze of 12 different privacy policies on their own various services and apps. Several brands also engage in privacy washing, presenting consumers with a facade of privacy rights that obscure the real invasive practices. Many are signatories to the Alliance for Automotive Innovation's privacy principles, which Mozilla found to be vague and unbinding. Essentially, the auto industry is prioritizing continuous data collection and monetization over consumer privacy. Our cars are evolving into data harvesting machines with little regard for customers. This has shocking implications for personal liberty. Our vehicles have always been treated as private spaces where we can securely make phone calls, have conversations, and drive to sensitive destinations. But with automakers voraciously mining our driving data for profit, that personal bubble of privacy seems to have burst. Consumers cannot take this invasion lightly. We need to push back through official channels. Read through privacy policies carefully. Limit sharing personal data with automotive apps and services, and contact both elected officials and the manufacturers themselves to voice privacy concerns. Our very privacy depends on checks and balances. With cars rapidly evolving into data-gathering devices, we must speak out now. My thanks to Thomas Germain from Gizmodo.com for the idea and information in this video. Scary. Did not realize that they collected all that information. All right, Chris isn't here, so I'm going to go ahead and play her section on.
Hi, I'm Chris Guld with Geeks on Tour, and in this episode of Fun with Photos, I'm going to be taking a look at Krista's question. She asks, how do I delete photos I've already put into an album? I think Krista is getting confused between folders on a computer and albums on Google Photos. So I'm going to explain. I'm going to start by going to the computer, showing you pictures in a folder and how you put them into subfolders. Then I'm going to take the same group of photos in Google Photos and show you the difference of making albums. And finally, if you really want to get the photos out of your Google Photos library while leaving them in albums, I will show you a way to do that. Let's get started. So here I am on a Windows computer, but the concepts are the same on a Mac. On Windows, I'm using the Files and Folders system. On Mac, it would be the Finder. I have a folder that's called My Pictures, and in there I have 10 pictures. Now, you usually have a lot more than this, but I wanted it to be real clear what's going on. So these 10 pictures are from different years. I like my pictures to be organized by year. So instead of having them all in the My Pictures folder, I'm going to make a folder for each year. Now, it's hard to even tell what year they're in, but if I change my view to details, I can now see the years, and it looks like there's some from 2018 and some from 2013. So if I make a folder, I click on New and Folder and 2013, and then I will just drag the files from this picture is from 2013. I will drag it into the 2013 folder. This one is from 2013. I'll drag it in. And this one, and this one, and this one. So I'll select them all and drag all three of them in to the 2013 folder. Now, if I go back out and just look at my pictures, notice, well, let me view the actual photos. There. I am only seeing 5 photos in the My Pictures folder. The ones that are in the 2013 have been moved into 2013. Now I want to make a 2018 new folder, 2018, and move all of these photos into that folder. So now the My Pictures folder only sees 2 other folders. It doesn't see all the pictures. That looks nice and neat, but here's the problem. Did you notice a lot of these pictures, both 2018 and 2013, have pictures of national parks? What if I want a folder called National Parks? So I'll go out here, I'll make a new folder called National Parks. Now what do I have to do? I have to copy the pictures. So the 2018, this is from Yellowstone, this is from Tetons, this one is from Tetons, and that one is from Yellowstone. I have to copy them in order to put them into national parks. Paste. Now, how many pictures do I have total? Well, there's 5 in 2013, there's 5 in 2018, and there's 4 in national parks. I now have 14 pictures, 4 of which are duplicates. That is an unsustainable organizational structure. You do not want duplicates if you can help it. So now let's take a look at Google Photos. This is a brand new account with only those same 10 photos in it so that we can really see what's going on. And there are some from national parks, there's some from Christmas time, and there's some of me and Jim in our travels. First of all, I don't even need albums by year because look how clearly Google Photos puts pictures in by year and month. So all the pictures are organized automatically by date, by month and year, by date taken. So now I'll say that this picture and this picture I want to be in an album called Chris and Jim's Travels. I select the pictures, then click the plus, make an album, a new album, and Chris. So I now have an album called just Chris and Jim's Travels, which just show those 2 photos. But here's the deal. Those 2 photos are still in what's called the library or the stream. Sometimes I call it the stream because that's how Google Photos organizes your photos. I have over 100,000 photos in my account, and they are all in one giant stream by date. But I also make albums. Now, these same photos that were in Chris and Jim's Travels were also taken in the Tetons National Park. So I can select them and this one and this one and make an album called National Parks. Now I ask you, did I have to make a copy? So are these two pictures copied into the National Parks album? No, they are not. And here's how I prove it. If you try to delete these photos now from the library, I mean, this is what Krista was talking about. She put this picture into an album. She now wants it gone from the library. If you delete that, it says remove from your Google account devices with backup turned on and places shared. It will be removed from everywhere when you move to trash. Let me do this one as well, just to make it very clear. So the pictures of Chris and Jim's travels, look at the album for Chris and Jim's travels. It is now empty because I deleted the photos from the library. It is also, those two pictures are also gone from the National Parks album. So let me go get those back. I'm going to go into the trash and get these back. This was something previously. I click on them and I click restore. Restore. Now here's a cool thing. Not only have they been restored to the library, but it remembers that those two pictures were in albums. So Chris and Jim's travels, those two pictures are back. National Parks, those two pictures are back. Now I promised that I would give you a way to get them out of the library if you really wanted to. So these two pictures are in two albums. I can remove them from the library by putting them into what's called the archive. That's all the archive means, is remove them from the view of the entire library and put them into the archive. So they're still here. They're still in my account. They're still in the albums, but they are not showing up in the archive. I can do that with all the rest of the national park. I can put them all in the archive. 3 dots, archive. Now my library is down to just 4 pictures, but all the pictures are in the albums. And if I really want to see the archive, there they are. So, big difference between folders on a computer and albums on Google Photos. One picture can be in many albums as long as it is in your account. It will still be in the library. You can put it in the archive so it's not viewed in the mainstream of your library.
As usual, lots of interesting and informative photo information from Chris. Now I'll turn it over to Ron, and you've got something you have got for us. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. What is an AUE on a Chromebook? Why should you consider this when purchasing a new machine? It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. If you have a Chromebook, you should know what the AUE is. And if you're considering purchasing a Chromebook, you should also know what the AUE is. Now you're going to say, what the heck is an AUE? And let me explain that today, because there's been some big changes in the AUEs on Chromebooks. Also, this should be a vital decision in purchasing a new Chromebook, because you should know what the AUE is. I also will have a new video coming out in the next couple of weeks on purchase considerations for a new Chromebook, since we are coming up to Black Friday, Christmas, and all this time where technology sales are booming. I want to give you help on choosing the right Chromebook for your use. Now you're going to say, how I find out about that? Well, just click that like and subscribe, and we'll send you a notification when that new video comes out about purchasing a new Chromebook. So the auto update expiration, or AUE, is a date that Google assigns a Chromebook at the time of manufacture. And that means it's going to provide automatic updates for that particular machine for a period of 10 years. But what if the machine was manufactured 2 years earlier? Well, then you would have 8 years. What if it was 5 years earlier? Well, then you'd have 5 years. You see how it goes. So one of the problems with AUEs is that where do you find them? And I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute, but there's no way of knowing. They don't publish the data on this when you're going to purchase it. It's not on the box, the outside of the box. You really have to open the machine up and run it and look and see exactly what the expiration date is. So you have to be really careful with that. And it would sort of be nice if you were going to purchase a Chromebook and you had 3 different models. It would be nice to get the one with the longest AUE, right? So you have to be a little bit concerned about that. The other thing that's really important for you to understand is that Chromebooks are sold in 2 different ways. First of all, they're sold to the education department in schools across the United States. These Chromebooks are made specifically for schools and often have limited capabilities. These are not the Chromebooks that are sold commercially to us, that we buy at Best Buy, Amazon, and that are advertised all the time. These are different types of Chromebooks. Well, they still work the same way, but they're more full-featured for us. So it's important that you be careful, particularly if you're going to purchase a Chromebook online, a refurbished one, that you know that it could have a very shortened lifespan if it's already used up 3 or 4 years of its AUE. So be very careful with that. We're not seeing as many refurbished Chromebooks coming out now from school systems because remember, they're all leasebacks, and then they refurbish them and put them all on Amazon to be sold. We're not seeing as many of those come on to Amazon now, as of course Chromebooks get more popular and the availability for commercial products that you would buy, that we would buy, consumer products that we would buy. So always be aware of the AUE date when purchasing a computer. So an automatic update expiration date is not unusual. We find that in cell phones. After a certain time, different models of cell phones don't get automatic updates. If you come from a Windows background, it's usually the software that expires, not the hardware. But Google has decided with Chromebooks, it is going to be a hardware expiration rather than software. So it's going to provide updates for you for the life of that machine. Well, sort of. Let's be realistic, and that most of the Chromebooks sold, probably about 95%, are laptops. They all have batteries. These batteries are permanent, non-removable batteries, and probably an average lifespan of about 5 years. I think it's very generous to get 10 years of updates. I should also comment that if you do have a Chromebook that you've had for over 5 years, you should inspect it on a regular basis for battery swelling. I'm going to show you on my Pixelbook in a moment how you might want to do that, but you want to hold it up and hold it sideways and look across the keyboard. If you do see any swelling or unevenness in the keyboard, it's very important you unplug it, don't use it. It could explode or cause fires. It should be disposed of promptly and not used or kept plugged in. So please be aware of that. If you see any swelling in the keyboard, this is a very, very bad thing. Okay, now we are on the screen of my Pixelbook. This is a Pixelbook that I purchased in 2019 as a refurbished machine. I suspect it probably was made in either late 2017 or 2018. Now, based on the 7 years that was the original rule for AUEs on this particular machine, it should be around 2024 as the expiration date. So let's have a look and see where we are with this. So as we come down to the right side, I'm going to show you how to look up the expiration date. Just click on the shelf on the right side here, and what we're going to do is we're going to click on settings. You see settings here? We'll just click on settings, and it's going to bring up this menu here, and we're going to now come down to the bottom left, and it says About Chrome OS. I'm going to click this, and here we come up, and this is tells me I'm actually running version 117 of the Chrome OS. I want to come down, and there's lots of things here you can look at, but I want to come down to additional details. We're going to click here, and here's where you will see the automatic update schedule. Now it says this device will get automatic software and security updates till June of 2024. And that's about what I figured. But there has been, as I mentioned earlier, some changes that Google just made. Let's see if it affects this Chromebook. If we click Learn More, this is going to bring us up to the new updated policy page for Google. We're going to come down and we'll see Google. Let's open this up. And we now are going to have the updated list for the AUEs. So if we come down to the Pixelbook, which I have, you're going to see it's not 2024 because these have changed now, and we're going to get updates to 2027. Yes, Google just added 3 years. So, and that's to a machine that was built in 2017. So the important thing for you to learn from this is just because your device says that it's going to expire at this date, you should click the Learn More, because you will get the updated list right from Google and come down and look specifically for your device. And mine will be updated. I will get security updates for another 3 years. So you do notice a little asterisk after the August 27. You'll see it right there. And if you come down to the bottom here, it says these Chrome OS devices must opt in to receive extended updates. So I assume that you'll be getting an option to click on to extend the life of your Chromebook sometime in the future. So automatic update expiration dates are important when considering a new purchase of a Chromebook. Also, please, if you do have an older Chromebook, check the keyboard by looking sideways on the keyboard for any battery swelling. If you see any swelling, please do not use it. Dispose of it carefully. It could be explosive or cause a fire. Don't plug it in. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll notify you when my new video about purchase considerations for a new Chromebook comes out. Until we see you again, have a great day.
Thanks, Ron. That's very interesting. I did check mine, and mine also has the asterisk next to it, and I couldn't figure out how you opt in. I guess your answer was wait and see. So I guess that's what I'll have to do. Now we have one more here from me, and we all have internet service from a provider who then talks about modems and routers. So let's learn about them. So let me go ahead and screen. Modems versus routers. A simple explanation. I'm Hewie Poplock. Here are the topics we will cover. A modem provides a connection between the internet and your home network. A router allows multiple devices on your home network to connect to the internet simultaneously and ensures that the internet traffic is directed to the correct device on the local network. If you've been on the internet for a while, you've no doubt heard the terms modem and router thrown around, but you may not have taken the time to understand what they are. What's the difference between a modem and a router? Your router creates a network between the computers in your home, while the modem connects that network and thus the computers on it to the internet. When you connect to Wi-Fi, you're really connecting to your router, which forwards traffic between the internet and your computer. Many internet providers offer a combined modem router unit that performs both these functions in one device. So why bother to understand the difference? Because that understanding can lead to better decisions, like buying your own modem so you can stop paying $8 to $15 a month to rent one from your ISP. What does a router do? A router connects multiple networks and routes network traffic between them. In the case of your home network, your router has one connection to the internet and one connection to your private local network. The simple way to think about routers, especially on your home network, is like this. The router sits between your internet connection and your local network. It lets you connect multiple devices to the internet through one physical internet connection, and also lets these devices communicate with one another over the local network. The router keeps track of what traffic goes to which actual device on your network. To the internet, all the traffic coming from your house looks like it's coming from a single device. Routers can be minimal or as elaborate as you want. Some support advanced mesh Wi-Fi networks and have enough features to keep even the most avid self-hoster happy, whereas others have only a couple of physical ports and no wireless connectivity at all. However, the average routers you'll buy today contain built-in switches that let you connect multiple wired devices like a desktop PC or an Xbox, and also contain wireless radios that let you set up Wi-Fi devices like a laptop or a mobile phone. In addition, the router offers some protection to your devices over being exposed directly to the internet. All routers are capable of screening traffic, so inbound and outbound traffic can only go through approved ports. Some offer even more advanced functionality and may be able to warn you if you're visiting a malicious or suspect site. But you can't connect directly to the internet with just a router. Instead, your router must be plugged into a device that can transmit your digital traffic over whatever type of internet connection you have. And that device is a modem. What does a modem do? Your modem serves as a bridge between your local network and the internet. Historically, the term modem is shorthand for modulator, demodulator. Modems were used to modulate the signals on telephone lines so that digital information could be encoded and transmitted over them, and then demodulated and decoded on the other end. Though more modern broadband connections, like cable and satellite, don't really work the same way, we keep using the term modem because it's a device people were already familiar with and associated with connecting to the internet. How a modem attaches to your network depends upon the type of connection that you have. The modem plugs into whatever type of internet infrastructure you have, cable, telephone, satellite, or fiber, and gives you a standard Ethernet cable output that you can plug into any router or a single computer and get an internet connection. Since the modem communicates with your internet service provider, you'll need the correct type of modem that will work with your ISP's infrastructure. What about combined routers and modems? Some ISPs, most big ones, offer a modem and router in a single device. That device has the electronics and software in it to provide both functions, acting as a modem that communicates with your ISP and functioning as a router to create a home network. Some ISPs also bundle a phone interface into the same box so you can use their VoIP or Voice over Internet Protocol offerings. While a combined unit has its attractions, just having one device cluttering up your office being one, there are also disadvantages. Using separate devices offers more flexibility in what you can do with your network and lets you make sure you're using the best quality devices that you can. And using your own devices instead of the ones your ISP provides can save you some money. Should you buy your own modem? Buying your own modem is an easy way to save money on your internet bill. Check your monthly bill and you'll probably see an equipment rental or modem rental fee that's costing you somewhere between $8 and $15 per month. Rather than renting your modem from your internet service provider, you can buy your own and hook it up. You can then return the original modem to your ISP and remove that fee from your monthly bill. Yes, it will cost you some money up front, but that typically adds up to somewhere between 6 and 10 months of monthly device rental fees. Keep the devices longer than that, and you're saving money every month. Of course, if you have a combined modem router unit, you'll also need to buy a home router. That's not necessarily bad news, though. The router your ISP provides may not have the latest technologies like 802.11ax and 6 gigahertz Wi-Fi, so you may be better off buying your own router anyway. Check to see if you're actually renting your modem and how much you're spending every month, and then find the best modem for your ISP. Your ISP's website will typically have a section detailing what modems will work with your plan. Make sure to purchase a modem that can take advantage of your plan's speed, too. It wouldn't do to have a 2 gigabit internet plan with a modem limited to 800 megabits. Assuming that most modems cost just over $100 and that you're spending $10 a month on a modem rental, you'll break even and start saving money after about a year. That's hundreds of dollars saved over the life of your modem. You can use any wireless router you want, but the modem you purchase has to be approved by your ISP to function with their network. In a sense, you can think of your router as a device that's part of your home network and the modem as a device that's part of your ISP's network.
I made you.
Okay, that's it. I'm muted. At this time, we need to say goodbye to those that are watching on YouTube. We invite you to join the Zoom meeting if you wish. There is room for you, but we do have to stop the feed to YouTube, and I'll do that next. There you go. All right, and I'll turn it back to Ron to be Ray Baxter.
Okay. Well, we're hoping, I think Ray's going to be back next week. So then he must be getting tired of me anyway. We look forward to Ray when he gets back. Let's see what we've got here. Tina Turner, word of the day, reinvent. For a woman who has received more industry awards and honors than I have room to list here, her humble beginnings are what American success stories are made of. Born November 1939 as Anna Mae Bullock in the rural, unincorporated Tennessee town of Netbush, her first released recording was a Little Ann on the song Box Top in 1958. It was a year earlier that she met her husband-to-be Ike Turner, who had already been in the music business going back to 1951 when his band played on the Jackie Brenston song Rocket 88, often cited as one of the first R&R songs. They married in 1962 and for the next decade had success as the Ike and Tina Turner Review. But the physical and emotional abuse Tina suffered in their relationship with Ike, who became addicted to cocaine, took its toll, and after a 16-year rocky marriage, they divorced. For most, this would be the end of the story, but not for Tina Turner. In the 80s, Tina reinvented herself in what today is considered one of the greatest comebacks in music history. Her 1984 album, Private Dancer, which contained the hit song, What's Love Got to Do With It, won the Grammy Award for Record of the Year. At age of 44, she was the oldest female solo artist to top the Hot 100. Tina remade herself when most of her contemporaries were hitting the oldies circuit. Tina retired from the music industry in 2009 after completing a record-breaking tour that marked her 50th year in the music business. Tina remarried in 2013 to Erwin Bach, who now lives full-time in Switzerland, but sadly suffers from serious illnesses. Nevertheless, for many, she will always be the queen of rock and roll. Hrus Ramazzotti is a singer-songwriter who is immensely popular in Europe, as he sings in both his native Italian as well as Spanish. Here he is with Tina in 1998, 1 year shy of her 60th birthday, at a performance in Munich, Germany, where they perform as a duet his major European hit, ℍ 𝕠𝕠𝕠𝕠.
Great music.
Yes, I should mention, everybody, Ray prepared all these for us before leaving on holidays. So thanks, Ray, for doing that. He gave us 4 selections while he was away. So that's what I read out. So anyway, he chooses well.
Yeah, but today, that was 1998. Today, they'd have to have those translator on their phones, and they could understand what each of them was, each other was singing.
Yeah. Well, what an amazing entertainer, eh? And considering her age and what she's gone through, it was really amazing.
Yes.
But you do know she's passed away.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. It's now time to call it the regular show, and we turn into a Q&A session. And I see Drew has his hand up, so we'll call on Drew first and see what he's got to ask us or say to us.
Okay. My question is regard to your router modem video.
Okay.
I am on Comcast, and Comcast has approved cable modems that I own. Frontier is the other big provider in our area. They don't seem to have, they're the fiber optic carrier, I guess. They're the people that used to be Verizon.
Yeah,
And
that's
think
who I
you're on that-
use. Yeah.
You're on the similar program. Do you have an approved modem in addition to your own router, or do you
No.
have their router? Their modem?
I'm using their, it's actually not really a modem. It's special equipment that that is used with fiber optics. So it's not something that I think I could buy, but I do have my own router. They did, when I switched from the old system to fiber optics, they left the same router in, but the fellow that was was doing the technical work, I asked him, don't I get a new one? He says, no, that's the same one. Thank you. So the fellow said, well, this is an old one. You might want to get a new one on your own. And that's what I did. I bought one that is Wi-Fi 6 compatible and one of the most up-to-date ones. I've had it now a few years, but yeah, you're correct. I have to use their equipment as a modem.
I think it's important to let everyone know, and you alluded to this in your video, but if you have a cable service, you need a cable modem. If you have a DSL service, you need a DSL modem. If you have a fiber optic link, you need a fiber optic modem. If you have Starlink, you need a Starlink modem. So each time you connect to a different service, you need a specific modem for that service, and that's not an option. And a lot of times there are no, like, for example, you can't buy your own Starlink modem. You got to buy it from Starlink, right? It isn't an option. So it is, and that's how the system, but you can.
But the router is different because the router is your network and it's inside. Right. And you can have your router, and you can also either have a smart switch or just a regular switch on there to give you even more connecting points. Carl, you have your hand up.
Yeah. In the past week, I guess my mic's on. I received a couple of phishing emails from Amazon Prime, not Amazon, but Amazon Prime. And it turned out, of course, they were telling me that my Prime membership had expired, and they gave me a link to renew it. And I almost opened it, but I didn't. And I checked my subscription, and of course, it doesn't expire till next year. Made a copy of it and send it to Amazon. If you go to their website, you can hold on the menu. Things you can complain about delivery or whatever, but there is an option in there to report, and they also give you a link to the. I want to do that.
Yeah, you really need to be very careful when you get those emails. You're tempted to click on the link. Don't do it. Go to the official website of whoever the company is, the bank, the ISP, the vendor, whoever, and go to their website. And the same thing with PayPal. I had that happen to me where I got a notice from PayPal and I went to their website and I did not have an invoice there like it said. And if I had clicked on it, I would have to give them information which I would not want them to have. Dorothy, your hand is up. Go ahead next.
Just a couple of quick questions. Thanks to Ron for that information about the length of your Chromebooks lasting. I checked mine and it said 26, but then when I went into the details, yeah, I had to use a magnifier and a flashlight to look on the bottom of my device to find the 10 digits there, because it's a 14-inch HP, but the DBO, it's extended till 2029, so that's nice. And just a comment about the password managers. I know LastPass had issues, and then of course now Bitwarden, which a lot of people moved to, but I've also read articles about 1Password having also been compromised. So
let me throw in a correction real quick. Bitwarden does not have a problem. It is people downloading Bitwarden from places other than official places. Okay. It's if you're downloading Bitwarden from Bitwarden or another reputable place, you don't have a problem. It's people who downloaded it from unsecured places that wound up with a doctored version that then put malware on their system. So there is not a problem with Bitwarden.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jim Glass,
You're muted.
unmute yourself and present your issue. There you
There
go.
you go. I just wanted to mention that I found out from my Spectrum provider that most all of their equipment that you get from them, that you're renting from them, are refurbished equipment. You're not getting anything brand new. I had to go to using theirs because the stuff that was supposedly authorized by them didn't work. So when I had the technician come out, he told me what the problem was, and he said, you're really, with us down here in Los Angeles, you're better off renting the modem. The router you can do whatever you want with, but the modem was the critical piece, and as I said, refurbished.
Yeah, but by refurbished means if you turn off your service, you turn the router back in, or the modem. And what they do is they just make sure that they open it up, they clean out any dust, they check it all out, and then they put it back out and give it to you. And that's what's considered refurbished. So, yeah.
The other thing to consider, refurbished also means somebody else had a problem, it got fixed, and you're now buying the product that no longer has that problem.
Yeah, but renting a router from the ISP means that
almost all refurbished because they're
all refurbished. Yeah,
right,
because they make sure that they are running properly, but they may not have been running bad when they were turned in. Bill James, you have your hand up. You're muted. There you go.
Yes, I was just going to add to what you said, Hewie. I have Cox, and if you are a subscriber to Cox, you can go to Best Buy and get an authorized modem for your system. Best Buy has on the box, it'll say which modems are compatible with the services that you use. All you need to do once you get that device is call Cox and tell them you have that, or whatever provider. And I believe they have one for Spectrum as well. You just call them and tell them you have this modem. They'll take some numbers down and then they will activate it for you. So I have my own modem and I have my own router.
Yes. It goes back to the days when we had telephone service. You couldn't have any equipment other than issued by the telephone company. And of course, that finally went away. And it's the same with the ISPs. They now allow you to have it. Now, the things you have to weigh is how long are you going to keep that and pay by the month, or are you going to buy your own? Is it going to be cost effective that if you're going to have it for a couple of years, long as there's no problems with it? The other issue is if you're past the warranty on it and you do have a problem and you bought it, then you've got to either get it fixed or buy a new one. Where if you're renting it, they just replace it and you're done.
My main issue was that the latest modem standard is DOCIS 3.1.
Yeah.
And so that's the standard that's being used for modems. If you have anything older than that, you're not getting the performance that you're paying for, even though the ISP that you have is saying that you have the latest and greatest. But as Jim says, in some cases, you're not getting the latest product.
Yeah, it's DOCSIS 3.1, I believe, is what you need to have. Jim, your hand's still up. You got
Just a response.
question?
Yeah, just a response. I did exactly what Bill was talking about. I went to Best Buy and I asked for one of the people to help me to be sure I was getting the right compatible item. And I looked at the box and it met all the specifications. But when I hooked it up, it wasn't the right box. And that's one of the reasons I'm renting, taking it from Spectrum instead of buying my own, which I've done previously. It was quite a surprise because the box said compatible and it was not.
According to your provider, it was not compatible.
That's right.
Then they should have given you a model that is compatible so you can purchase it.
Well, on
okay.
the box, Jim, on the box, it will say that it's compatible with the service, and you just call them and tell them what you have, and they'll go ahead and activate it for you.
Yeah, well, I did try that, and down here anyway, it didn't work. So I'm renting the thing, and I figure over the years,
It'll never work until they activate it from their end. Just by putting it in doesn't mean it's going to work.
You have to call the service.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I did, but didn't. Anyway, just thought I mentioned.
Okay. Thanks, Jim. Ron, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to, it's very challenging times for internet, particularly cable internet providers right now. We've talked about this a lot. In fact, I did a video about this, and it is challenging times. And I am now on a 1 gigabit connection, which I upgraded a couple of years ago 3 times in 1 year. And Shaw came out and put 3 different modems and routers in and upgraded the system. They're now up to 1.5 gigabit and will be soon going to 2. So it is extremely challenging times for cable companies as they try to compete against wireless companies, particularly 5G networks providing internet for you. And the reason that I think you have to be very cautious about going out and purchasing modems and routers, just trying to do it on your own, is because the changes that are occurring very quickly, and they're providing the hardware to make the changes occur. And some of the hardware changes that are occurring are very expensive. So you don't really want to be in a position where you're actually buying real old equipment, particularly in the cable modem field, where as I said, it's challenging times, and they are trying really hard now. In Canada, in Western Canada, the company providing most of the cable internet is, of course, Shaw, and they buy all their equipment from Comcast. And I think Dorothy has the same, from Victoria has the same modem router that I have, and I have a very high and advanced 5G, modem. It's really very, very expensive, and it's the third one I had in about 2 years, because I keep getting the faster system, and it would be really difficult or expensive if I had to go and buy that myself and try and compete. So be careful. All as I'm saying is be very careful today, because it's a lot different than it was. And I doubt even probably in 5 years we'll even have cable modems or cable internet. It isn't going to happen. So it's all going to change. But in the meantime, they're trying desperately to increase their speed, and that means change. And so you need to play ball with your provider, and they will hook it up and get it all organized. Going to Best Buy I don't think this is the right time to be going to Best Buy and trying to figure it out yourself. That's just my comment or whatever.
Yeah, good advice. For the most part, if you aren't sure, or you really don't want to do it, don't worry about the rent per month, because if it breaks down, they'll replace it. So that's a good way to look at it, as cost effective.
And
it's an insurance. Yeah.
And you might, in next month, if it's a 1.5 gigabit connection, they just may swap the router just to keep the service going with you. Before you move on to wireless, they might give you the 1.5 gigabit and put a brand new modem router in, so you get a faster speed, right? So you really don't want to be in a position where you own the equipment right now. I don't think, anyway.
Dick, did you have a final word in the Q&A?
I have had Spectrum for years and years now, and periodically I take my modem in and they will replace it with a more up-to-date model, and with no cost. So that is my recommendation. If your modem is over 2 or 3 years old, contact your provider, and you get it from the provider. Contact your provider, and they will provide you with an updated modem, which will work better.
Yeah, one of my neighbors was just sent a brand new piece of equipment, beautiful equipment, brand new, and she didn't know what to do with it, so I helped her install it. It was a good thing I was there, because it didn't work with the numbers they put in it, and they had to figure it out and have an engineer give me a different set of numbers for her to put in, and that's what happened. So Murray, one final question, and then I do want, before I ask you what it is, remember that the premiere starts on the half hour, and it's going to be Ron talking about his Ember coffee mug. I'm talking about how to choose an ISP. And then Bob G is going to talk about reading mode in your Chrome browser. One last question, Murray. You're muted. No, you're not, but we aren't hearing you. Well, that's going to get a question that's going to be
okay. No,
unanswered.
there it is.
Oh, all right.
Okay. It's a comment. I own my modem. I bought it from my cable provider. However, buying it was a lifetime warranty, so they will replace it. They have replaced it 3 times since I bought it at no charge. So I don't have to pay for it a month, but I own.
But replacing doesn't modernize it when there are changes.
No. But they replace it with the new one, with most update one.
Okay.
That's good. All right. On that, we want to thank, on behalf of the entire group of us, thank you very much for attending. I hope you learned something. I think it was a good session with lots of different information from different types of places and things to talk about. And until Thursday, if you're going to join Tech for Senior live, but also don't forget Wednesday night Stug if you're interested. And then Sunday is the WinSig. With that, I say thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next
Bye-bye.
time.
Bye-bye.